Okay, these are the kind of things that you'll end up hearing about when you're doing scheduling and you're doing project management and you're doing resource management. I think that... oh, I missed that one. And that one as well. So, when I'm talking about Scrum and Agile Project Management and Waterfall, you don't necessarily have to pick just one and stick to that no matter what. I think the best thing to do is just to take the bits that you like the best out of each one, and then use it as you see fit. I think at the stage that you guys are at, it's really important to start out with the mentality of having a good methodology and working in that slightly structured environment. You know, a friend of a friend said to me that by the middle to the end of a project, as a producer, they actually want to be bored. That sounds like a mad thing to say, but really it's the ideal situation for a producer. It means that you have a great plan. It means that your schedule and your resource management is really solid and really good. I mean, I think if you're working on a big project, it's going to be very difficult for you to be bored. But that's kind of the goal that you want to be aiming for as a producer, really. When you're making a plan and you're thinking about all the different sort of methodologies that you want to use, one of the other important things to remember is that a plan is not set in stone. I'm sure that when people climb Mount Everest, they don't go, right, we're going to go up the North Face. End of story. Oh look, there's a force 10 gale blowing on the North Face and there's about 50 metres of snow. Sod it, we just keep going. Doesn't matter. Oh, my feet have fallen off from frostbite. Fine. So, obviously, you get to that position and you're not going to go, right, we'll go up the North Face, you go up the South Face. So the important point to remember is that however good your plan originally might have been, there will be points in the road of development that you come to where you have to be able to be flexible enough to change your plan. So remember that it's not set in stone, it's not rigid, it needs to be flexible. For me personally, Agile Project Management has a lot to do with that and is a very useful and interesting way of working. Talking about that as well, team members are key, and it's something else I will come on to in a moment, is what's really, really important, and probably the most important thing in development are the people that you work with. As a producer, there's a couple of things that you really need to you need to think about when you have a team. Yes, you are all one big happy family, but at the end of the day, you're the producer. So you're kind of like the matriarch or the patriarch of the family. You have to be the nasty person sometimes. You can't be everybody's friend. You have to have some sort of distance from the team. I know that when you're working in a team of sort of 5 to 10 people, that's really, really difficult. But, and sort of slightly unrealistic, I suppose. But when you start getting into team members of sort of 10 to 15 to 20, you have to be able to stand back and take a really objective view of what's going on. You know, a lot of the time with producers, it's important to understand that everyone in the game development industry or who's making your game has a vested interest in what they're doing. So you, as the producer, have to be able to stand back and look at it and go, no, that's not working. And you have to be able to trust all of your team members as well. So, as well as treating it like a family and being sort of slightly objective, you need to be able to talk to everyone as well. Communication is key, certainly. as they say. Okay, outsourcing. When you are making a game, outsourcing. Does everyone know what outsourcing is other than that? Yes? I mean, I mentioned it before, so you should do, hopefully, if you were listening and you haven't fallen asleep, which is highly likely. So, outsourcing. As people are generally aware these days, when you make a next-gen title, outsourcing is vital to the games industry. Does anyone have an idea of sort of an average team to make a next-gen title that you would need? Like a 360 or a PS3? What do you reckon?
A couple of thousand.
Pretty close, man, actually. No, slightly ambitious. I'd love to see you handle a budget for a couple of thousand people. That would be very interesting.
Well, including the outsourcing those.
Yep, no. You're probably looking at, if you want to do everything in-house and you can manage it and you have a good plan, then probably about 80 to 100 people odd should be able to do a next-gen title internally. If you want to do it properly and not at the end of the day have to lay off 40 people when you suddenly finish the title and then you've got nothing else to do, then the best thing to do is have about 40 people and outsource as much as possible of the art assets. And you have to remember, outsourcing is your friend. It is what will make you release a title, and particularly next-gen title. Outsourcing is essentially all about creating assets and being able to manage a title that, manage a studio that has a good core team to continue on making games. If you do not use something like outsourcing, as I said, what will happen is you will get to the end of your game and you will realise that you have 40, 50 people who are just sitting around twiddling their thumbs and sucking up resources. And your studio will go under. It really is kind of the only way to move forward, and something that I believe is the only way that the games industry as a whole, not just in Australia, but around the world, will survive. Has anyone heard of Team Bondi? I'm sure you have. Does anyone know how many people are working in Team Bondi at the moment on one game? 120 people. And they haven't even made alpha yet. You can all say goodbye to Team Bondi very, very quickly because they're not going to survive. Okay. Finally, getting your game out there. Sorry, this is all very quick because I don't really have a lot of time, but getting your game out there. There, as I said before at the beginning, there's a number of ways that you can get your game out there. You can go to the big evil distributors, publishers, like Atari and IDOS and THQ and various others. Or you can think about at the beginning when you decide what kind of game you're going to make to use the internet. Who knows what that is? Everyone knows Alien Hominid? I'm sure you do. Massive internet phenomenon game. Does anyone recognise that game? Yep. Does anyone recognise it? Please say you do. Okay. That's a game called N, which is just a little flash game. It's highly, highly addictive. I sort of play it for about 5 minutes and then realise an hour later that I haven't done any work. It's a brilliant, brilliant game. Both of these games are now being published on console, either handheld or a PS2, I think, for Alien Hominid. Huh? There you go. So, they're a beautiful example of a free flash game that was developed by a small team, a couple of guys. I mean, N was a couple of guys in the bedroom. And it just, viral marketing, word of mouth, internet, enabled something like that to happen. And now they've signed publishing deals with big publishers to release them on console. So